Hello everybody, and in this video we're going to discuss a little about the Wii U. So the Wii U was a Nintendo system that launched on November 18, 2012. What I really want to talk about the system is mainly the things I liked about the Wii U and things I think it does better than the Nintendo Switch now. I think this video is on the right timing of uploading because we are on the 35th anniversary of Super Mario. I don't think I have something new to tell to the world about Mario, so I'll keep that to the professionals, but why not talk about the Wii U, which is a system that, if I'm not mistaken, can play almost every Super Mario game. So I managed to link it to the current subject of the day, but actually it's not that connected. Let's begin. The first thing I want to discuss about the Wii U is the Wii U gamepad. What's special about it is, first of all, the technology Nintendo uses in this controller. If I'm not mistaken, it uses Bluetooth, so there is a connection between the system and the controller. However, the controller gets much more information from the console than other systems in the market. The Wii U gamepad gets an image, sound, but not sound like the Wii Remote speakers. It gets full-fledged sound that can be comparable to your television sound. I find it myself sometimes play with the Wii U speakers, but turning off the monitor speakers because I actually find the Wii U gamepads to be a little better. There is a camera on the controller that I actually used it just once when creating my Mii character. However, people that use the Wii U chat probably use the camera much more. I was a late adopter of the Wii U. I got it in 2016, and it was also my first Nintendo system and my first gaming system at all. I wasn't that I was pretty new to the whole industry, and it wasn't that long ago. So I didn't use Wii U chat because I did it mostly because I didn't have anyone to chat with on this app, but also because a few years later Nintendo shut it down. I got the Wii U really at the end of its life cycle. In 2017 the Nintendo Switch came out, and Nintendo after a few months pretty much killed every every not important service of the Wii U, such as the Wii Chat and the Wii U Chat and other one that I'll discuss later, Miiverse. Anyway, so it also had a microphone, of course, and something that I really like, and I hope, and this is a thing that the Switch, the Wii U does better than the Switch, it has a headphone jack. Now the Switch also has an headphone jack, but you cannot use it while playing on the TV, only when portable play. On the Wii U, on the other hand, I can connect headphones and play only with that. The audio is perfectly synced, the connection is good. However, a flaw of this controller is that the range of the connection is pretty low, so this is a bit of a bummer, but not that much important, because you need to play it. You cannot play it away from the system like the Switch. You need to play it with the TV, with the system. However, there is on a few games options to play off TV. Last thing I want to talk about the Wii U gamepad is that it had an NFC sensor that later on utilized by Nintendo with the Amiibo figures. So pretty good use if you ask me. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about in this video is the game library. The Wii U got massive games from Nintendo, and I'm speaking of remakes of classic Zelda games, a huge backlog of virtual console, huge number of exclusives, and I say huge, of course, despite the fact that it's not that huge, but it's huge for the Wii U, because it's a small system, didn't last for long, and didn't sell really well. But anyway, it had many games that were mostly Nintendo game. The Wii U didn't got third-party support, and I'm sure you heard that. I'm not going to talk about it. But look at an interesting number, because I would like to see the Wii U in a different perspective than what the numbers show. The Wii U approximately sold 13 million units. This is quite low compared to other systems and the overall average in the industry. However, look at a different way. 13 million units were sold to a pure Nintendo fans. It means that Nintendo has a huge power. It's very strategic for them, because they know that in rough times they can keep pretty high number of consumers that are loyal to them and will always get their product. This is a very good for in business perspective to the company. So you have to keep that in mind. The Wii U was a success in terms of showing Nintendo how much fans they have, how much people they can appeal to that loved their products back in the day of the 80s and 90s and want to get more, and people like me that discovered Nintendo just in 2015 and got later on their first Wii U, then the Switch. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is things it did better than the Switch now. So I already talked about headphone jack, that I can put my Wii U gamepad next to me and play even with a different controller, however still use headphones. This is a huge advantage that the Wii U had. Also other systems, but Nintendo system, this was the only one that I recall. Next is the other thing I think that the Wii U did better than the Switch is doing now is basically connected to the Wii U gamepad, because you have a screen, a touch screen that you can control with a stylus or with your finger, just like any other screen, although this is based on different technology, so it's not the same touch screen you use to in your Switch or smartphones, tablets, iPad for example. No, this is a different touch screen, just like the Nintendo 3DS and DS and all the rest of the variations. However, it's still a touch screen, so you can use it quite smartly when you have, for example, menus and system settings and let's say the Nintendo eShop. On the Switch I have no problem using the Nintendo eShop on portable mode, but if I connect it to the dock on the TV, I found it actually a little uncomfortable to use, for example the joystick to maneuver around what I want to press. So I use the D-pad and the directional buttons. It's much better, but still very slow compared to using your stylus or your touch screen. I know this is a pretty weird complaint, and I'm not complaining about it, but something I wanted to mention. Now, the more important thing, more right thing to say about the touch screen is mainly the thing that it helped many games to be better controlled. For example, I played a lot of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. I never played the Wii version, neither the GameCube version. However, I played the Wii U version. It was the second Zelda game I played. The first one was Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. I'll get to it later. But Twilight Princess utilizes the touchscreen in a very smart way. You can use the stylus to move things around your inventory. This is much easier to use than conventional buttons. But one thing that I think is better is that it had one button to switch immediately from Link to Wolf Link. So this is one thing, but the potential is there to make new buttons, to make a lot of buttons, to have more control of the games. This is the flexibility you have when you've got a screen on the controller. It's really sad to see that many developers, mainly third-party developers, didn't know how to use it, because there are so many ways you can use it. And even Nintendo games, let's say Super Smash Bros, didn't use it. And I actually think it's a good thing, because not every game can use it. Paper Mario Color Splash, I didn't play it, but I heard that it used the gamepad not so good. And for example, Star Fox Zero, it's another game that when it came out, I remember that everyone was kinda upset about the controls, and this is an old argument, I'm not going to get into it. However, many people complained about the controls. They used motion controls more than it needed, and they used the gamepad technology in a way that they didn't need to. This is something, and I'm not sure that I really right, because I tend to trust my experience rather than what I heard online, but because I didn't play Star Fox Zero. But what I want to say here is that Nintendo and other companies in different areas, when they have something good, they try to use it even when this is not the right thing to do. Nintendo tried to use the second screen almost in the beginning, almost on every game they make. They even wanted to make a second screen experience on Breath of the Wild, which is pretty interesting, because I think on Zelda games it works really well. But I'll give you a different example. For example, I played Super Mario 3D World. It's an awesome game that actually is coming right now because of the 35th anniversary to Nintendo Switch. It's a great game that I played on the Wii U gamepad because I didn't have other controller. This is not a problem, it's comfortable and I didn't have any problem playing with it. However, there were levels that you needed to use the screen and the touch screen to move platforms. I think this is smart. However, some people can also see it as, we have the second screen, we have to use it somehow. And I don't believe it. I believe that if you have something that you sure that will make it better experience, use it. If not, no. Specifically about 3D World, I didn't have a problem to touch the screen, but maybe other people did, and other games probably didn't utilize it very good. But I do say that, and I do think that the touch screen opened a lot of doors that make things a little easier and more comfortable, and most importantly, practical in many games. Other games don't, but in many of them they did great, also in Wind Waker. And in Breath of the Wild, for example, because it was a dual release, they first make it to the Wii U and then the hardware team at Nintendo announced that the Switch was ready, and they probably asked the developers of the Zelda game to port it to the Nintendo Switch, so they make it a dual release. This is not a problem. However, they scrapped all the ideas for the second screen in the Wii U gamepad. You can only play on one screen, and the Wii U gamepad, if you press the screen, the whole game moved to the second screen on the controller. This is also something good to use, okay? If you don't think that you need to use touch controls, you can just do this. Although Breath of the Wild is not a great example. One more thing that I want to say is the menu, the main menu, not the settings, not the menu that you pick up games and play them. I think that the UI of the Wii U operating system is much better than the Switch, mainly because you can move the application, move the games to wherever you want, make folders. Even the folders, you can make them on different colors. This is also a thing. And you have freedom to control the UI however you wish. Something really nice, and I also like the overall design. But this is not something to say, this is personal preferences, it's not important. Okay, so for the last thing on this video I want to discuss Miiverse. Miiverse was a social network made by Nintendo specifically for the Wii U and later on adopted by the 3DS. I think it was a very good thing they did. They shut it down because of the Switch, and it did something really nice. It showed the sense of community. It showed the sense that you are not alone in the world playing the game, although of course you're not. But it showed you what other people think about the game. For example, I found myself having trouble completing a level in New Super Mario Bros. U. And then after I finished the level, I saw posts of other people in Miiverse that was running around, and it just made me laugh to see that I'm not the only stupid guy who cannot beat this level. There are others like me. This is a very social thing, and I also posted the post there. You can also say how good you are in a game, and I'm not speaking really about if you're good or not or to make you feel better, but rather I'm speaking about showing community of the game. And actually every game had a community, I'm not kidding, that was the name. And you can speak with other people, like their post, like this is a social network. However, it was built into the game in a very, very smart way. And in Super Mario Maker you can also comment levels that other people make. It's hard now to get all the examples because I'm not going to review Miiverse right now. This is not the issue. However, I just wanted to point the fact that I thought back in the day that Miiverse was a very cool thing, and it's very sad, it's very wrong in my opinion that Nintendo shut it down. Alright, so if you watched until here, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and I want to maybe apologize for this video. Is very experimental for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to make these videos in the future. It's something I tried to do right now, and I hope it will work. So if you didn't like the video, it's okay. Don't worry, you don't need to watch it. Okay, so goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.